Today you are drinking Wild Turkey Rye. Wild Turkey Rye is Wild Turkey's ode to America's first distilled spirit, rye whiskey. Wild Turkey Rye comes in at 81 proof and retails for around $23. As always, your prices may vary. Enjoy!
All right, thanks, Joyce. Let's go ahead and dive in and see what they think.
I hate to say what it smells like to me.
Well, now you have to tell us what you think.
Yeah, now you have to say it.
It honestly smells like urine.
I was wondering if you were going to say that. I can see it. I don't think that's what it smells like per se, but I can understand why you would think that.
Yeah, I'm not getting urine at all.
Maybe your urine, and if this is urine, this is really unhealthy urine.
I mean,
Well, I didn't go into detail.
If you pee that color, you're dehydrated.
If you're peeing straight liquor, you may be have some other problems, like a filled liver.
And you may want to reduce your number of drinks per day.
You may just actually want to stop for a bit. Yeah, I'm gonna go for a sip though. I'm not getting much on the nose. Like I can't distinguish anything.
So the only before you go for a sip, the only actual note we're gonna have is urine.
Do you have anything else?
It's grain. There's some
Cereal.
grain there. Some
Yeah,
cereal
cereal
grain.
grain.
Yeah. Now I can go for a sip.
There's
Having a real note in there.
There's some sort of bright note there. There's like a bright note. I've yet to figure out what that note actually is. I smelled it before, but I don't know what that note is. Like I don't know what it smells like. Like it's distinguished. I don't know what it smells like.
Ooh.
You said ooh like you liked it. So what did you like?
I did like it. I don't know.
Very woody, like a sandalwood.
It's got some spices. It's got a thicker mouthfeel.
A little bit of tobacco.
Tobacco. Yep, it's tobacco and like baking spices.
Yes.
To me, it's almost like sucking on an empty pipe.
A little bit of sawdusty.
And I mean a tobacco pipe, not a bathroom pipe. Even though...
I don't get it. Yes, I use that for pipe tobacco.
There is, for me at least, almost no finish here. It's very light and short.
There's lingering spices on the palate, but as far as a finish, like the back of the throat or anything,
it just cuts off.
yeah, it's like hits the back of my palate and then nothing. It's getting tobacco now, but it's only because I sipped on that pipe.
Cleanse your palate, and then...
That's attractive, I'm sure. Especially for those of you in podcast land. Oh boy.
So many notes here that I'm like, I don't know what this is, but it's different and it reminds me of something, but I don't know what it reminds me of.
If I said ashy,
See, I get sawdust, which isn't...
like I'm getting burnt sawdust. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know what I'm getting.
It's almost a texture, like an ashy texture to it.
It's burnt, but it's not smoky.
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's definitely not smoky. I don't know what to think of this. I don't have many notes to say.
I honestly am thinking like
Is your experience currently positive or negative?
neutral to positive.
I would also say neutral leaning positive.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
I almost get like, I don't know, cigar or pipe tobacco ashiness out of this.
As someone who participates in both of those regularly, I'm not getting that. But maybe it's because it's regular for me, and
I haven't done either one of those in probably 10 plus years. I'm like leaning way back on my memories.
All right. Well, I'm ready for water. While the water mingles with the whiskey, if you like what we're doing, hit that like button, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and you will be notified next time we release a video. If you would love to support us, because we would love you to support us, you can do so down at Buy Me a Coffee. You can also buy this bottle through Drizly, which will also help the channel. And if you want to interact with us, if you leave a comment down below, or check out our Instagram, our Facebook, at The Bottom Shelf Whiskey, or you can tweet us at Shelf Whiskey. We'd love to hear from you. Give us different thoughts on this whiskey and other whiskeys you'd like to see us do. We've gotten quite a few requests for different bottles, and I look forward to do those. All right, so let's go ahead and dive in and see what the water did here. What does that smell?
I don't know.
I'm getting more woody notes now.
I think we're smelling the same thing that I can't.
It's a smell.
It's a smelly smell?
No. It reminds me.
It smells smelly?
This is gonna be weird. This reminds me of a toy back, like a particular toy that had a particular smell back in my childhood. That maybe there was a chemical component to it. It's lost on me now. For some reason, the first thing I thought was Bionicles, but Bionicles shouldn't have a particular smell other than Lego.
But they did have a different smell than Lego.
Did they?
Yeah.
Then maybe it's...
It was like a more rubbery plastic.
Personally, when I was growing up, we played with toys. We didn't stick them up our nose. Well, yeah, we stuck them up our nose.
No, honestly, it reminded...
What else are you supposed to do with Legos? Legos go right up the nose. They're perfect size.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but for some reason, I particularly remember... Like, I had like an image of the Bionicles that came in McDonald's kids' meals.
So you're smelling McDonald's kids' meal.
I don't smell it anymore, but that was like the first memory I had. I don't even think that's the right smell though. I feel like it was some sort of toy that had some sort of liquid chemical component to it, like the Spider-Man web shooter. The web shooter had like a canister this was silly spray, and that had a particular smell.
Your toys were so much different than my toys.
No.
We had to take kite string and pretend that we were doing Spider-Man's web with it. I'm smelling something else entirely, but chemical, like you said.
Yeah, chemical. It's definitely some sort of chemical they smell. Like it still smells fine, but it reminds me of some sort of like plasticky chemical thing that was in a toy I had.
Almost like imitation flavoring.
Citrus. I'm hesitant to say this. Eucalyptus.
I can get that.
I can kind of see
or maybe aloe vera.
I can
see the aloe. Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe that's what we were smelling.
Stuff to put on our... Like when we played the wrong thing and then our parents had put aloe vera on us to help us heal.
We're sunburned, so you take the aloe gel.
Some sort of like... That like line of herbal note.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little bit of like a honey tea.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that.
And still a bit of that tobacco ashiness. This one is a difficult one to pin down.
It is difficult, yeah.
I've used this note before. Like, this is not the same level of it, but it's a little bit reminiscent of the cherry fun dip powder, but it's not as cherry forward. I mean, like the fun dip powdery, but almost like it's, I don't know, like the green apple one or something.
Okay.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Like, maybe raspberry, like fun dip powder, but it's not cherry. It's some random weird flavor.
What really sticks out to me though on this is the tobacco flavor and then the honey and the spice and the tea that I'm getting, especially towards the finish. I would really want to use this and coupled with the citrus notes that you pointed out. I'd really want to use this in a hot toddy. I just think that all of these flavors would really balance out.
All right, so we'll start with the nose.
Okay, so on the nose, I'm going to give this one a 3. There are plenty of decent notes there, but none of them are particularly strong, and it's just average.
I agree. I find it average. I really like the tobacco that I'm getting out of it.
I give the nose a 3 as well. Across the board, I don't really know what exactly I'm tasting or smelling, but they're pleasant enough. Like, they're not astounding me, but they're pleasant enough to give a decent rating. So yeah, I'm giving a 3 on the nose. Palate.
On the palate, I'm again giving it a 3. Again, I liked everything I tasted. It was a little hard to pull some of those things out. A good level of complexity, so I'm giving it a 3.
I'm going 3.5 on the palate. Again, the complexities, that's something that I really like, something I find challenging and look forward to in a whiskey. But what kicked it over the top was, the only way I can describe it is ash. And it's not a bad ash like you're sticking your hand in an ashtray and licking it. It's an interesting ashy taste.
Would you say, so I mean, ash is often described in I know we haven't gone to our guesses yet, and then I'm not asking for guesses or anything like that. Ash is generally associated with like Scotch and like peat. You think but you don't think it's a peat ash. You think it's like a cigar tobacco ash.
Right.
Yeah, I put 3 as well. My biggest problem with the palate is just that, like, yes, I'm getting a lot of flavors here, but they're not flavors that I'm used to or familiar with. So I have a hard time saying what they are because I mean, like, these just are very unique flavors that I can't recall having experiences with. They are reminiscent of something, but I don't necessarily know what. So it tells me that I just don't have a proper like memory in my head for those tastes to kind of pull out that memory.
But what you said, the key word for me was uniqueness.
Yeah.
And that's what kicked it up to a 3.5 for me because they are so unique.
Yeah, they're definitely unique.
It's something that's new to me. I don't know, in the archaeology world, they call it ritual if they can't describe it. So maybe the palate is ritual.
Then on to finish.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish. This one kind of fell short for me. I'm giving it a 2. Uncomplex and yeah.
The finish for me, I'm going with a 3. I'm sticking in that 3 ballpark area. With the water, I was getting that honey, that spice, that tea, and a little bit of a lemony flavor. It was very reminiscent of a hot toddy, and like I said, I'd love to have this in a hot toddy.
I gave it a 2.5 on the finish. Short, kind of average, which 2.5 is average, so just kind of spice at the end, oak spice. Not much like lingering from the spirit, or what I would describe it from being from the spirit. I feel like all those just like typical oak impact finish, and it was short. So that's our ratings. We're gonna dive into their guesses, and they're gonna be guessing what kind of whiskey they think this is, what proof they think this is, what retail prices, and how much they're willing to pay for it.
I think that this is an Irish whiskey. I think that it's 80 proof. I think that generally it retails for 20. I would probably pay 17 to 19 for it.
I'm going Canadian, and that's pretty much where we differ. 80 proof, I'm guessing retail is 20. I would actually pay 20.
So Scott, we're gonna go through their guesses in a bit, but first we're gonna dive into the ratings of those sites and the tasting notes of those sites to see how ours compare to professionals and other people who are doing reviews. So let's dive into that. Ratings from those sites. Distiller gave this an 85, Whiskey Advocate gave it an 83, and Wine Enthusiast gave it a 95.
Holy crap, Wine Enthusiast.
For tasting notes, the most common tasting notes were nose, rye, vanilla, spice, caramel, honey, fruit, mint, and cinnamon.
Mint might have been that weird herb
Mint
we couldn't
being that.
describe.
Yeah.
On the palate, oak, honey, vanilla, spice, sweet, fruit, and cinnamon. Then on the finish, oak, spice, citrus, astringent. Multiple people said astringent, vanilla, and short. So let's go through, talk about your guesses. So you guys are going to just tie on this completely. Because now that you got the whiskey type right, it is a Kentucky straight rye whiskey.
Okay.
It is 81 proof.
He's going to argue about the one.
I'm just gonna roll my eyes at that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying what it is. That's all I'm doing. It's 81 proof. Retail price is $23. That being said, I've seen quite a few people posting about it being cheaper than that. I've seen people post pictures of them getting it under $20. So let's go ahead and reveal what it is. Today we drank Wild Turkey Rye. I don't know what we paid for it because I didn't buy it. He did, and I forgot to ask him what it was.
I want to say I paid $18 on sale, I think.
Yeah. Same.
And this was actually a purchase for us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this was a gift bottle. So
yes, from your mother.
Yes, so my mother and my recently passed stepfather.
We will toast them at towards the end of the video.
Yes.
Let me go through a few other notes here. So Distillery is the Wild Turkey Distilling Company. New chart, American oak. Reportedly, this is not no age statement, but reportedly 4 to 5 years old. Real quick though, on the back, they do say what kind of char they put in the barrel. And they say it's a number 4 alligator char. Basically, when you char it enough, you start getting like what's called like alligator skin on the char. Like, so it looks like cracked and such, like alligator skin. Just like our last rye video, I feel like I had a hard time getting some notes. I realize now that I didn't give you the mash bill. So the mash bill on this is 51% rye, so barely legal rye, 37% corn, 12% malted barley. Yeah, I feel like just ryes. They have notes that I'm just not accustomed to or not used to. I think they do. I think ryes all taste similar, or American ryes at least.
Typical profile of a rye would be grassy, minty. I think at some point we had a rye that we referred to as green. Those would be typical rye notes, but there are some that, go out of that realm.
All right. Well, until next time, may the winds of fortune sail you.
May you sail a gentle sea.
May it always be Sharon and Jim who say,
This drink's on me.
Jim, love you, buddy.